everybody. Welcome to this module, which might seem a little bit basic, but simple and basic are not always easy, and that is on listening and questioning. Now, listening is consistently one of the #1 ranked skills in business and leadership, and also one of the #1 ways where we lack. Now, the crazy thing is that when you're around someone that listens really, really well, it feels amazing. It feels like, wow, they really actually care about me. And oftentimes we don't even notice when people don't listen well because we're so used to it. And so we're going to prep you to be able to do an awesome interview, which we're going to push you to interview somebody about how they've turned a setback into a strength. But first, we don't want you to look like many of those stereotypical millennials who just care about themselves. Instead, we're going to build and help you develop the skills of being one of the best listeners around. But here's what we need to do. First off, there are 3 levels that we see in listening. I'm going to share this screen with you to show you what those look like in our eyes. Bring this over here. All right, first one, level 1 of listening. Now, people at this level, it's mainly ignoring, but you're kind of maintaining the idea that the person's talking. It just goes in one ear, out the other. And so in this case, the listener kind of fakes like they give a dang, when in all reality, they don't care at all. They say things like, oh yeah. They giggle like at the wrong times or laugh when it doesn't even make sense. Very little eye contact's given. They're kind of turning to their phone or checking their phone maybe, or just totally not fully present. So we call these the ignoring questions. Now, our next level of listening, we call all about me. Now, this is a challenge because people do this even when they think they're doing a really good job of listening. So what happens? You tell one of your friends about an awesome vacation that you were able to go on, right? You're explaining how awesome the beach was when you got out on the surfboard, how cool it was. And right in the middle, when you're about to get into the best part of your story, your friend goes, oh, man, that sounds amazing. Sounds just like the time I went to Costa Rica and we went off the coast there and went fishing. And all of a sudden, your story just got hijacked. People in this listening are listening and only thinking about, how am I going to respond? And before we know it, we hijack the conversation and just start going into our own story. And so in this case, people can be trying their absolute best, but totally focused on themselves inside. And so it's really hard to get out of this. But the third level and the top level of listening is completely being interested in the person. And instead of formulating responses in your mind of, what am I going to say back? How do I top whatever they said? Or how do I just not sound like an idiot when I respond? Instead, we're really listening about what's being said. And then also, what's not being said? Like, why is this person telling you this? How are they feeling about it? And then gathering that info and asking questions to get to pull more out of it. And now this might sound a little bit crazy, but if you think about who's in control of a conversation, the person who's talking or the person who's listening and asking questions? And it's always the person who's listening and asking questions. They direct the conversation. They pull out and get what they want out of that. But it's very, very unique for us who are always wondering, what do we look like? How are we proving ourselves to be patient enough to really listen and be focused? And so I challenge you, one, to identify people in your lives that are level 1 listeners, that are the ignorers, level 2 listeners that turn everything kind of about them, and level 3 listeners that make you feel like you are the most important person in the world at that time. And I'm going to challenge you to get to that third level as much as you possibly can. So best of luck. Again, it's a simple skill, but by no means an easy one. Try it out.